Welcome back to the deep dive. We are cranking up the energy today because we are officially back in the archives of vintage business wisdom.
Yes, we are.
If you've been with us for the last couple of sessions, you know the drill. We are digging up these business books that are over a century old, blowing off the dust, and realizing that, well, surprise, surprise, human nature hasn't really changed a bit.
It really hasn't.
Yeah.
The tools change, the tech definitely changes, but the way we trade value, I mean, that is just timeless.
Exactly. So just a quick recap for anyone jumping in fresh. In our first deep dive, we hit P.T. Barnum's The Art of Money Getting.
Right.
That was all about the philosophy of value. Don't spend more than you earn, keep your integrity, that sort of thing.
And then in the second one, we went a little metaphysical with Wallace D. Wattles in The Science of Getting Rich. That was all about the mental shift, the power of thought, manifesting success.
Which brings us to today, and we are pivoting hard. If Wattles taught us how to think, our author today is going to show us exactly what to do. We are diving into this massive book from 1919 called 1,000 Ways to Make a Living by Harold M. Dunphy.
This book is fascinating because it's the total opposite of abstract philosophy.
Yeah.
It is, and I mean this literally, an encyclopedia of hustle.
An encyclopedia of hustle. I love that.
Yeah, Dunphy wasn't interested in theory. He just collected these concrete, specific plans from all over North America and even Europe on how real people were actually paying their bills.
It's basically the 1919 version of a giant Reddit thread on side hustles.
That is a perfect analogy. And the context, is so important here. This came out right after World War I. You have soldiers coming home, massive economic shifts.
Right.
And Dunphy's whole mission, he says it right in the preface, was that unemployment was often just a failure of imagination. He put all these plans together so that, and this is his quote, no one need call aloud about lack of employment.
I love that energy. He's basically saying, look, here are 1,000 options. Pick one. Get to work. It's the ultimate no excuses manual.
Precisely. And what we're going to find is that while some of these jobs sound, absolutely archaic, and we'll get to those for sure, the business models underneath them are the exact same ones powering the gig economy today.
Okay, I cannot wait to get into the Dandelion Destroyer. That one just genuinely shocked me when I was reading. But before we unpack this encyclopedia of hustle, we have a quick word from a partner who is helping modern businesses keep that hustle alive.
That's right. This deep dive of vintage business wisdom is brought to you by AISupportSquad.com, a 24/7 AI phone agent that answers calls, books appointments, and even participates in the sales process. While Dunphy gives you 1,000 ways to make a living, AISupportSquad.com gives you the time to actually live it by handling your frontline operations. Visit AISupportSquad.com to modernize your business with tools that keep the vintage hustle alive.
Okay, let's get into the meat of this. The first major theme that it jumped out at me reading Dunphy is this obsession with hyper-specialization, We're always told to be well-rounded, but this guy seems to love the specific.
He does, and for a very good reason. In 1919, just like today, general laborers were a dime a dozen. If you just sold labor, lifting things, digging holes, you were a commodity.
Race to the bottom.
Exactly, you compete on price. But if you solved a specific, really irritating problem for someone, you could charge a premium. This is what we call riches and niches today.
And the best example of this, I teased it, is plan number 447, the Dandelion Destroyer.
A classic case study.
So let's break this down. You've got a guy, a landscape gardener, but he doesn't just say, I mow lawns. No.
No, of course not.
He realizes that wealthy homeowners hate dandelions.
No.
But here's the problem. If you dig them up, you ruin the beautiful manicured grass.
Right. He developed a special technique. He used a syringe to inject a chemical, probably some kind of acid, directly into the root of the plant.
So it killed the plant without breaking the surface of the soil.
Exactly. It was genius.
Okay. Clever. But the part that made my jaw drop was the price. The source says he charged wealthy householders up to $100 for this. Wait, back up. $100. In 1919 money.
I did, yeah. Adjusted for inflation, that's somewhere around, $1,800 to $2,000 today?
For weeding.
For weeding.
That's insane. How could he possibly justify that?
But see, that's the catch. He wasn't just pulling weeds. If you dig up a dandelion, you leave this ugly, jagged hole in the turf.
Right.
To a wealthy estate owner, that hole is just as ugly as the weed itself. This guy wasn't selling labor. He was selling perfection. He was selling a pristine lawn with no ugly scars. He solved a status problem, not a gardening problem.
So he completely disconnected his time from his value. He charged for the result.
Exactly. And that's a lesson for anyone today. If you can solve a rich person's headache, price becomes almost irrelevant.
Wow. Okay, there's another one that fits this niche theme perfectly. Plan number 15, spats for college girls.
This one is great because it's like the birth of an Etsy shop.
Totally. So you have this college student, she's on a budget, she buys a new suit, but she can't afford the matching spats, which, for anyone who doesn't live in a period drama, are those fabric things people wore over their shoes.
Right.
The tailor wants $2. She doesn't have it.
So necessity becomes the mother of invention.
She rips up an old pair to get a pattern, uses her leftover suit fabric, and just makes her own. But here's where it pivots from saving money to making money. Her classmates see them.
And they love them. She didn't just solve her own problem, she accidentally found a market.
Yeah. These other girls also wanted to look fashionable on a budget. She started making custom spats for them and ended up paying her entire college tuition.
That is literally the story of every successful online creative business. I made one for myself, my friends wanted one, and now it's a business.
It's a microeconomy. And then you have Plan 53, the widow who packed trunks.
Pure service specialization.
She realized that rich people travel all the time, but they hate packing. Or, they don't know how to fit these giant Victorian dresses into a trunk without them getting completely crumpled.
So she offers a service. Professional trunk packer. And again, notice the branding. She isn't a maid.
No.
A maid gets a low hourly wage. A specialist charges a fee. She turned a chore into a skilled trade. Dunphy's whole message here is that generalists struggle, but if you can do one thing better than anyone else, even if it's killing dandelions, you can name your price.
Okay, so moving to the second big theme. Dunphy seems to believe that a bad economy is really just a lack of observational skill. He pushes this opportunity is everywhere mindset.
He does. He basically implies that we walk past money every single day because we see problems instead of products.
And the best example is Plan number 5, the vacant lot. This is the story of a woman who looked at these ugly, weed-filled, empty lots in the city. Everyone else saw an eyesore. What did she see?
She saw a mismanaged asset.
Okay, walk me through the hustle here.
So she goes to the owners of these lots. Now, these owners are probably holding the land for speculation. They don't care about the lot itself, but they hate getting fined by the city for the weeds.
Ah, okay.
So she goes to them and says, I'll keep these clean for you for $3 per 100 feet. And they agree because it's less hassle than dealing with the city.
But she doesn't do the work herself.
No. She hires men at $1.50 a day, but she charges the lot owners enough to cover that labor plus a healthy profit for herself. She's the general contractor.
I have to play devil's advocate here. Why wouldn't the lot owner just hire the cheap labor themselves and cut her out?
It's the hassle factor. The owner might have 20 properties. He doesn't want to manage a crew of day laborers. He doesn't want to check if they showed up.
He just wants the problem gone.
He wants the problem gone. She sold him problem removal.
Mm-hmm.
The profit, the arbitrage, was in her willingness to manage that headache for him.
But she didn't stop there.
No, and this is the genius part. She realizes this is good land. She has the men plow the lots and sow wheat. The source says she cleared $1,200 her first summer.
That's a fortune in 1919. That's like a CEO's salary.
It's huge. And the next season, she expanded to 2,000 acres and made $11,000.
She turned an eyesore into an urban agricultural empire.
And she didn't own a single acre of it. That is the key. You do not need to own the asset to monetize it.
Which brings us to Plan 339, buying old barrels.
This is pure arbitrage.
Okay, can you define arbitrage for us in this context?
Sure. Arbitrage is just taking advantage of a price difference between two different markets. You buy low in one place, you sell high in another, and you don't actually change the product itself.
So, the barrels.
A man notices grocers have all these empty barrels.
Yep.
To the grocer, the barrel is trash. It's taking up space. So the guy buys them for pennies. But he knows that manufacturers need barrels to ship their goods. To the manufacturer, a barrel is a necessary supply. So he sells the barrels to them for double what he paid.
He didn't fix the barrel. He didn't paint the barrel.
No, he just moved it from where it was trash to where it was treasure. He profited from an information gap. It connects back to that Ben Franklin quote Dunphy uses.
Yeah.
Lost time is never found again.
Let's talk about the business models themselves. A lot of what Dunphy suggests, it requires zero inventory. It's just skill. We'd call it the agency model, or freelancing today.
Absolutely. And plan number 9 is the perfect example, writing business letters.
Writing business letters. This sounds suspiciously like what I do with ChatGPT now. What was the 1919 version?
It was surprisingly similar, just Analog, you had these merchants who were brilliant at what they did, but they were terrible writers. Their letters were losing them customers.
So this guy comes in and pitches them.
Exactly. A former newspaperman.
Yeah.
He realizes he has a skill writing
Yeah.
that these business owners lack. He says, I'll rate your responses for 5 cents a letter.
5 cents doesn't sound like a lot.
Well, it adds up. He's dictating 100 letters a day across different firms. He's making $30 a week just from that. But think about the structure. He's not an employee.
Right, he's a contractor.
He's a fractional writer. He realized he didn't need one boss. He could have 10 clients.
And then there's Plan 10, window card suggestions. This woman loved the baked beans at a local deli, but she noticed the owner never advertised when they were fresh.
Right. The product, the beans was great. The marketing was zero. So she creates the marketing. She writes signs. Today is baked bean day. She didn't cook the beans. She didn't own the store. She sold the marketing of the beans.
And the book says this grew into a husband and wife ad agency making $5,000 a year.
It's the separation of product and promotion. Most shopkeepers back then thought, I just need good stuff. She was, no, you need to tell people you have good stuff.
Same with Plan 37, the auto inspection service.
A mechanic realizes people are getting ripped off buying used cars. So he offers a service. I'll inspect the car for you before you buy it. Make sure it's not a lemon.
It's amazing how modern that feels. We have services just like that today.
That's because the fear is the same. Buying a car is high stakes. He wasn't selling repair. He was selling insurance against a bad decision. It's a pure consulting model.
Now we have to have a little fun because some of these plans they are extremely 1919.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw a dated idea at you, and you tell me the 2026 equivalent.
Okay, I accept the challenge.
Plan 450. The gas mantle man. He made $60 a week maintaining gas lights in stores. Gas lights are gone. Is the business dead?
Not at all. The technology changed, but the business model is managed services. Think IT support. Today, that guy is the IT pro who charges you a monthly retainer to keep your office servers from crashing, or the person who maintains your smart home setup. The model is the maintenance contract. It's recurring revenue.
Okay, good one. How about Plan 194? The megaphone singer. This guy stood in a wagon with a megaphone, singing the latest hits to sell sheet music.
Okay, the visual is hilarious, but functionally,
Yeah.
that's just influencer marketing. Think about TikTok. A creator uses a 10-second clip of a new song in a video. Why? To drive attention to the full song on Spotify. The megaphone singer was doing the same thing. He was offering a free sample of the content to drive the purchase of the media. The wagon is just the For You page of 1919.
All right. One more. Plan 386, the circulating music library. A man rented out phonograph records and piano rolls for a monthly fee.
That is Netflix. That is Spotify. That is the entire concept of access over ownership. In 1919, buying a record was expensive. Renting it was a great deal. He was running a subscription service before software was even a dream. It proves the subscription economy isn't a Silicon Valley invention.
It really proves there are no new ideas, just new mediums.
Absolutely.
Let's shift to sales psychology. Dunphy didn't just list jobs. He really understood how to trigger a sale.
He was very, very astute about human behavior. Plan 248 is a classic, the free sink brush.
This is the foot in the door technique, right?
Exactly. But let's look at why it works. A brush company sends a postcard. I have a free sink brush for you. The agent delivers it. The homeowner takes it.
And now they're trapped.
In a way, yeah. It triggers the principle of reciprocity. Because I gave you something, you feel this little social obligation to give me something back. In this case, your time, your attention.
And that usually results in buying a whole set of brushes.
Right. If the agent just knocked on the door cold, it would get slammed. The freebie changes the dynamic from intruder to guest.
Then there's Plan 461, the premium chain. The salesman is selling massage cream.
This is viral marketing before the internet. He offers a premium o'clock, silverware. If you buy the cream AD, give him 10 names of your friends.
It's the invite 5 friends to get extra Dropbox space model.
It is. It's gamification and referral marketing rolled into one. He leveraged his customer's social network to do his prospecting for him. He knew a warm lead from a friend is 10 times better than a cold call.
And Plan 741, the hidden coin in the window. A merchant hides a coin in the window display just to get people to stop and stare.
That is the attention economy in a nutshell. He knew if he could just stop the foot traffic, he could get the sale. Today, that's clickbait. That's the crazy thumbnail on a YouTube video. You have to stop the scroll Or Beck in 1919, Stop the Stroll.
Stop the scroll, stop the stroll. I like that.
That's right.
So we've looked at the past. Let's look at the future. If a Dunphy disciple was operating in 2026, what would they be doing?
Let's take Plan 513, telling them how. In the book, a guy sold 1,000 copies of money-making ideas for 10 cents each.
Which is basically what Dunphy did with this whole book.
Or who? But today, this is the info product or course creator economy. A modern Dunphy wouldn't print pamphlets. He would use AI to curate super niche information like how to destroy dandelions naturally and sell it as a digital guide. The scale is just global.
What about the labor stuff, like Plan 702B, the window washer?
In the book, the guy takes over a route from a drunk boss and professionalizes it. He just cleans up the business. Today, a Dunphy disciple would use tech to scale that. You wouldn't just wash windows. You'd build an app to automate the booking, scheduling, and billing for window washing across an entire city.
So you turn a manual labor gig into a tech-enabled franchise.
Exactly. You build a platform. You aren't the one holding the squeegee anymore. You're the one who owns the customer relationship. Back to that agency model.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into 1,000 ways to make a living, what are the big takeaways? If we boil Dunphy down, what's the essence?
I think there are 3 pillars. First, don't wait for a job, create a service. The letter writer didn't look for a job posting. He saw a need and pitched a solution.
That's huge. Stop looking for vacancies. Start looking for problems.
No, second, the riches are in the niches. The dandelion destroyer, the trunk packer. Don't be a generalist. Generalists compete on price. Specialists compete on value. Be the best at solving one specific, annoying problem.
And the third?
Action cures fear. We talked about waddles and thinking in our last deep dive. Dunphy's all about doing. With 1,000 options, there's no excuse for being idle. Pick berries, wash windows, write letters. Just start something.
That bridges the gap perfectly. Waddles gives you the mindset. Dunphy gives you the roadmap.
And honestly, even if you fail at one plan, you have 999 others to try.
That is a comforting thought. Well, listening to this, I hope you are feeling inspired to maybe look at that vacant lot next door a little differently.
Or at least the dandelions in your own yard.
Exactly. If you're finding your hustle through these vintage gems, make sure you subscribe to the deep dive and hit that notification bell. We want you with us for this whole journey.
And you definitely want to be here for the next one.
Oh, absolutely. Next time on Vintage Business Wisdom, we're staying in this realm of massive opportunity, but we're pivoting to a slightly different flavor. We'll be diving into Paige Fox's 1903 classic, 1,000 Ways to Make Money.
It sounds similar to Dunphy, but Fox. Fox brings a different, often bolder perspective on capital and commerce. It's less about side hustles and more about building empires.
You will not want to miss the ultimate comparison of these 2,000-way blueprints. Thanks for listening, and go make it happen. See you next time.